Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We are jumping straight in today because, well, there's a seismic shift rumor that has the entire basketball world buzzing. I mean, you can feel the tension everywhere. So let me give you the headline right up front. The core news, and this is coming from sources circulating on the Warriors Daily News Area's channel, and we've seen it echoed by Rex Ryan over at ESPN, is that superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo has reportedly agreed to listen, that's the key word, to listen to a historic mega offer being prepared by the Golden State Warriors. And the sources are really clear on this. This isn't about frustration. It's about legacy. It's about curiosity. So before we get into the massive implications here, and you're going to want to stick around for this one, do us a quick favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the Warriors TV channel so you get all our updates, and drop what city you're from in the comments. It really helps us out.
What a place to start. A deep dive into a rumor that feels different.
Right.
Yeah, because this isn't just chatter. This goes to the very foundation of the modern NBA. Giannis's entire brand, his whole narrative, has been built on loyalty.
The guy who stayed.
Exactly. He stayed. He built something. He won a championship in Milwaukee. So to even hear the words listen and Warriors in the same sentence, it forces you to question everything. So I think our mission today is to unpack what makes this specific speculation feel just too loud to ignore.
Okay, let's do it. Let's unpack this. The first question has to be, why now? And what on earth is in this historic mega offer that could actually get his attention?
Well, you have to start with the shock itself. For a player like Giannis, who literally built his identity on staying put, just the act of listening, of opening that door a crack, is a massive step.
It's huge.
And the sources, they keep stressing this isn't about him being unhappy in Milwaukee. It's all internal. It's framed as this philosophical question he's asking himself. Can my greatness translate to a totally different environment? And what does that mean for my legacy on a global scale?
And on the other side of the table, you have the Warriors.
Yeah.
The source material calls them fearless architects of chaos, which I love.
It fits, doesn't it?
It really does. And this offer, it's not just about the money. I mean, the salary cap is what it is. It's about what the sources are calling creative construction.
And that's the part people need to understand. That creativity means pain. To make this work, Golden State would have to move pieces. Maybe even pieces that fans consider completely untouchable.
That's the logistical elephant in the room.
It is. When they say historic and creative, they're not just talking about throwing in draft picks. They're talking about a willingness to, dismantle something sacred to build the next dominant thing.
Which is so on brand for them. And insiders are saying they see Giannis as more than a new centerpiece. They're pitching him as a bridge between eras.
Right, the guy who can carry that winning culture forward, but also honor what came before with the vets. It's a really smart narrative.
It's compelling.
It is, because it's not just come win with us, it's come lead with us into the future. But, the tension here comes from the fact that it's all unconfirmed.
Right, there's no official statement.
Nothing. And that silence is what's fueling this whole thing. It creates this cloud of uncertainty over the entire league.
Which connects directly to you, the fan, watching all of this. This is a perfect example of how perception, how intention can literally shape reality in sports. The idea that the Warriors are this bold and that Giannis is this open, that alone is already changing things, even if a deal never happens.
Exactly. The sheer possibility gives the rumor a kind of gravity. It's just unavoidable at this point.
Okay, so let's move on from the initial shock and get into the pitch itself. This is where it gets really interesting, because the reports suggest this is so much more than just a trade proposal. It's a whole vision, a basketball philosophy designed just for him.
Yeah, and they're reportedly targeting his... Well, you could call it his one weakness, which is that he's completely obsessed with getting better.
Right.
So the Warriors aren't selling him on their past championships. They're selling him on the future of his game. They're talking about a system, a culture of freedom that could unlock things we haven't even seen from him yet.
Like what, specifically?
Think about him in a hyper-fast transition offense where he's not always the primary ball handler. More off-ball movement, using his defense to create pure chaos.
That's strategic genius. The whole point, apparently, is to extend his prime. In Milwaukee, so often, he has to be the entire engine.
He does everything. Brings the ball up, initiates the offense, guards the best player. The usage rate is insane.
So the Warriors are basically saying, you can still dominate, But you don't have to carry that entire weight all by yourself every single night.
And that leads to this deeper psychological layer of the pitch. It's not a sales job. It's being framed as a partnership proposal.
A partnership.
Yeah, they're treating him like a co-architect of the future, giving him real input, real respect. And for a guy with his story, that authentic, resilient background, that's got to resonate.
You can just see it on the court. I mean, imagine Giannis running the floor in that system, defending 1 through 5, just creating absolute mismatches everywhere. It's a perfect storm.
But hang on. We have to play devil's advocate here. It's a deep dive.
Of course.
While his supporters are saying greatness requires risk, the critics are loud. They're saying this would be way too disruptive, that his game, even if he's not the primary ball handler, could clash with that established Warriors rhythm.
The off-ball movement, the flow.
Exactly. Finding that balance is not a guarantee. And if you get it wrong, you could poison the well. So the risk is just as massive as the potential reward.
That's a great point. You can't just assume it all clicks into place.
Okay.
Okay, so let's pivot and talk about Giannis himself. Section 3. What's his motivation here? The sources are saying he's at this really reflective point in his career. He's won the ring. Now he's asking these bigger questions.
Deeper questions about impact, longevity, about how the story of the Greek freak will actually be remembered.
And his background is so key here, right?
It's everything. Born in Greece to Nigerian parents, coming from nothing, he has this truly global perspective. And the Warriors are reportedly tapping right into that. They're framing this move around global impact, arguing that joining a brand like the Warriors just amplifies his platform, his influence to a whole different level.
And what's really fascinating, what I keep coming back to, is the claim that these talks go way beyond basketball. They're talking about family, community, and long-term influence. It's an emotional sell. The idea that this move could set up his family and his community for generations.
Which reframes the entire narrative. It's not seen as him chasing another ring. It's him challenging himself to become something even more complete, to evolve.
But you can't just brush past the loyalty piece. Milwaukee is the city that embraced him. He committed to them. Loyalty is like the core of his public identity.
It is. And leaving forces this really difficult conversation about what loyalty even means in sports today. Is it about staying in one city forever, or is it loyalty to your own potential?
That's the debate right there.
And the Warriors seem to be playing this very carefully. The rumor is they're just planting a seed, letting the idea grow on its own.
No pressure.
No pressure, which ironically probably makes it more appealing to a thoughtful guy like Giannis. They're playing the long game.
That quiet approach, or maybe the lack of any public talk. That brings us perfectly to our next section, the power of silence. Because right now, the fact that we haven't heard a hard no from either camp, that is maybe the most telling thing of all.
Oh, absolutely. In today's media world, silence isn't just silence, it's a vacuum. And that vacuum gets filled with speculation.
And it's interpreted as a signal that something real might be happening behind the scenes.
It is. And if you think about it, the rumor itself becomes a form of entertainment. It lets fans everywhere project their hopes, their fears onto this one hypothetical move. Giannis becomes this canvas for debate.
So the key takeaway here isn't about certainty, it's about momentum. The rumor alone has already changed the conversation around the league. It's forcing GMs to plan for a scenario that seemed impossible just a few months ago.
For sure. And that momentum builds its own story. Whether this deal happens or just, fades into NBA legend, the energy it's created is real. It's a perfect example of how sometimes